let's get started. The first crystal that I wanted to talk about tonight is Dendritic Agate. So for those of you who aren't familiar, agate and other stones, especially quartz based minerals, will often have dendrites in them. And they're called dendrites because they actually look like little tree branches. And they're usually made of magnesium, but they can really vary in the different types of materials. So what I want to show you, first of all, and I'm hoping you'll be able to see this clearly on your screen. Oops, here we go, if I can get the light just right. This area right here, over here on this crystal, this is actually a dendrite. And so you can see it's sort of branched, it has this little branch-like structure, and it is in a agate geode, and this was actually a gift to me from my brother-in-law quite a few years ago, and I just love this piece. But the dendrites, because they have that connection with trees and that branching structure, they're really great for helping you to communicate with trees. So for those of you who maybe have never tried this, or it sounds a little bit silly, give it a try, because there's nothing like just spending time with trees. They are so wise and have such an amazing energy, and they can really help you transform things in your life. They can help you process your emotions. Many shamanic practices and shamanic traditions will actually recommend, really bonding with one particular tree to process, different emotional states that you may be dealing with, or to work through problems in your life. Because the trees represent this idea of stability, balance, grounding, protection, and that's exactly how this dendritic agate can be used. When we talk about communicating with the tree spirits, there are several ways that you can do this. You can actually hold a dendritic agate over your throat chakra so that you're able to really speak what you need to speak. A lot of us have deficient energy in the area of the throat chakra because we're sort of afraid to speak up, or it's something that we haven't really cultivated. It's not a practice that we're familiar enough with. So sometimes it helps to speak to the trees, and I really mean this, because things that are difficult for us to say to people that we may need to say them to still need to get communicated somehow to prevent energy blockages from happening. So if you sort of go into the woods, or maybe there's even a great tree in your yard that you would feel comfortable working with, hold your dendritic agate over the throat chakra and say what it is you need to say. Even if that person is never going to hear it, it's sort of like that practice of writing a letter and not mailing it. It does the same thing. But what happens is, because you have that natural transformative energy of the tree and the dendritic agate at your throat chakra, it really helps you process some of the underlying causes for where this communication arises from, and maybe how you can work toward actually communicating with the person that you need to say these things to. It also helps you connect with beings in the Faery Realm. So if you want to use the dendritic agate to communicate with beings in the Faery Realm, you can actually place a piece over your third eye chakra. And what that will do is enhance your intuition, stimulate your psychic awareness, and help you work through this process of communicating with these fairy beings. Now, many people out there feel a very strong connection to the fairy realm and sprites, elves, whatever it may be, so this stone can really help you work with that type of energy. So I did want to show you another type of dendritic agate, and this is in a slab formation. So this is actually just a cut and polished piece, a slab, and you can see all of the dendrites that are within this piece. And this piece is actually from Mexico, but a lot of really great dendritic agate comes from Montana in the United States. And it's also called sometimes sweetwater agate or sweetwater moss agate. But basically you're just looking for some sort of crystal formation with these dendrites, and you'll find that it works really well. Because it has a slightly different subtle energy, but a moss agate, technically those are dendrites that you're seeing in the moss agate, so you can use those as well. Oh, you have a nice Kuan Yin moss agate. So it sounds like maybe it's carved in the shape of Kuan Yin goddess, which for those of you who aren't familiar, Kuan Yin is the goddess of mercy and compassion and empathy. She's also the protector of mothers and children. So that would be a fantastic thing to help promote some of that really gentle, nurturing communication. So that sounds beautiful. Will my moss agate work for this? Yes, it will. Because it has a slightly different subtle energy, but a moss agate, technically those are dendrites that you're seeing in the moss agate, so you can use those as well. Oh, you have a nice Kuan Yin moss agate. So it sounds like maybe it's carved in the shape of Kuan Yin goddess, which for those of you who aren't familiar, Kuan Yin is the goddess of mercy and compassion and empathy. She's also the protector of mothers and children. So that would be a fantastic thing to help promote some of that really gentle, nurturing communication. So that sounds beautiful.